On this episode of Sports Force, we have Week 5 overreactions.
That's right.
And underlying stories, and there are a ton of underlying stories this week.
And overreactions to it, I assume.
Yeah, we had a lot of overreactions talking on the phone earlier today.
Yeah.
Like right away this morning. So I'm interested to see how this goes from here.
It's going to be a fun episode. We got a packed episode, so I hope you guys are ready because Sports Force starts now.
This is Sports Force, a Garage Sports Media production. I am one of your hosts, Ayron, and with me is your other host, Ryan Bass. Ryan, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well, but hey, I'm going to ask you first. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I really appreciate that.
You know? I care about you. You're a friend.
And I had no incidents. My ankle's feeling better.
Yeah, okay.
It was a good day.
Yeah.
Solid. It was a good weekend.
It was pretty calm. How was your
weekend?
You know, weekend was good. Didn't do much of anything. Just hung out with the family. My daughter really knows how to ride the bike now without the training wheels, so I have to keep good on my promise and buy her a better bike now. So we're getting ready to buy one this Wednesday for her without the training wheels.
Ooh, training wheels free.
Yeah.
I remember like being a kid and just learning how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
She's only 5?
She's only 5.
I've seen this girl ripping it up through the cul-de-sac, just like learning how to turn, and this girl loves speed. Mm-hmm. She just pedals.
Well, she pedals through the turns, and she starts to make the turns like
yeah, she does.
Sharper, and she just starts to go in a circle. It's kind of like those like huge bowls that you drop a penny in, and you see them go like tighter and tighter as it goes down to the funnel. You know, that's kind of how she starts to ride her bike. But now she's just going on full-on bike rides. She's going through the neighborhood when we go out on a walk. She's going through like the bike paths and being able to stay on the course. So it's good. And, you know, guilty pleasure of mine. It's fun to watch the kids fall every now and then. And, you know, get up. Come on. Don't be a bitch.
Jesus.
I'm playing. No, but it's fun. It's one of those things that you like to see them become resilient. You know, at first they want to give up because she wanted to give up. You remember when she first got out on that bike, she wanted to quit within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Every time, and she was crying after every time she fell. Then after about a week of just consistency, you know, she wouldn't cry anymore after she fell. Even if she took like an actual fall, she would get right back up and be like, no, I got this. And before you know it, you know, she's got the determination and willpower to have a fun time.
Do you think she's poised on that bike?
Nah, dude. You seen Opie walk? She falls every other fucking step.
I'm going to train my dog Kiwi to ride a bike because, I don't have any kids, so I don't get those moments in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, yesterday we did another garage watch.
Yeah.
We had all the TVs going. We had to swap out one because it kept being weird, which is I'm finally going to get rid of one.
And you make a bomb case, so let me just throw that out there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I was pleased.
It was good. I was eating that stuff all night.
I felt the heartburn later on, though.
Yeah.
I had too much of that shit. And last night I was like, fuck is wrong with my stomach? Oh, yeah. I like ate 2.5 bowls of queso. Like full-ass bowls of queso, too. Not like a little amount, but like...
Dude,
I was eating it like a meal because I didn't have any breakfast.
We had the garage doors open. We had the TVs going. We had queso.
Yeah.
Our other neighbor walked over.
Yeah, JC was over. That always makes it a fun time.
So it was a good one. I mean, we had some decent games going on.
Yeah.
I think the afternoon games were a lot better.
I agree.
And we didn't have a pizza plug this week again, although we both got late night pizzas.
We both got late night pizzas the night before. Yeah. But note to self, I shouldn't eat a pizza at almost midnight because it haunts me every time. Like I'm too old for that shit. I cannot eat a pizza that late and not pay the price.
I'm older than you and I'm still doing it.
Then your gut must be healthier than mine. I don't know.
This is what I love about contactless delivery, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I can be Ubering home from being out and it's waiting for me on my doorstep.
Come home.
And I just got 2 pizzas.
Are they hot though? Do you like try to coordinate it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have gotten home late and they're kind of cool. And I'm like, so I don't know about this winter. We'll see how that goes. But we didn't have anything for tonight. We just watched Monday Night Football.
Very anticlimactic.
It was a stinker. The Packers suck. I admit it.
Yeah, but the Raiders aren't anything special. I say that as a Raiders fan. I mean, we all know I bleed silver and black, but man, those calls that were being made, I thought he was going to debauch it. I mean, our defense saved the day because our offense wasn't doing anything special necessarily.
It's not like the Packers were. The Packers, they never have anything in the first half. I'm so frustrated with this team.
Yeah.
I knew, and this is the thing, I knew they were going to be bad. I didn't have a lot of hope coming into the season. We got those 2 wins, and then I had a little bit of hope. And now I'm just like, they stink. Jordan Love stinks. I'm done. I'm done with the whole thing.
Time to blow it up.
How many drops did they have on that final drive trying to punch it in with 2 minutes left? 3?
Yeah.
Oh, they stink. They stink. How about let's talk about some more interesting games?
Yeah, let's dive into Thursday night's game because that was an interesting game that none of us were expecting.
That is for sure.
I mean, it was lights out, Justin Fields.
Well, I should probably clear this up right away. So we recorded the podcast on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I made a statement, and I was not trying to be a hot take statement. I truly believe this.
Right.
But the Bears were not going to get a win all season. I thought we were going to see an 0-17 team. I truly believed it in my heart.
And I said that they're probably going to lose, or sorry, they're going to get a win at least against the Raiders.
Yep. So I edited the video. I put it out. I made a TikTok, sent that out, got a bunch of views, a lot of likes. Wasn't anybody being like, yeah, you're an idiot. And then Thursday happened.
And what happened? Justin Fields goes 15-29 for 282 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions with a QBR rating of 125.3 for like the first time in his life.
Ever. He actually looked good in this game.
He actually looked good, yeah. And then, I mean, he also had 11 carries for 57 yards rushing as well. So he was doing what we anticipated him to do in year 2, but it took him 4 games to get there, or 5 games to get there, right? So they put on a clinic against the Washington Commanders, which I thought were going to probably steamroll them. I mean, at least by a touchdown or 10 points or 2 possessions, something of that nature. I did not expect it, but
I mean, this Commanders defense was supposed to be a top defense.
DJ Moore, though, to be fair, had 8 receptions, 230 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, he was just balling out.
You know what the best part about that was? He did that on my fantasy bench.
And you sat him, yeah. You know who I'm
going to sucker trade him this week.
You're going to sucker trade him?
I'm going to find a losing team who's got a good player, and I'm going to propose a trade.
I mean, that's
I'm
smart.
never starting DJ Moore. I'm never going to do it again.
Guess who I started this week?
Who?
Jamar Chase.
Cool.
Gave me like 75 points. It was
Neato.
ridiculous. Yeah, I finally won against a team that was 4-0 in my fantasy.
There you go.
I handed them the first L. But yeah, I mean, on Washington's side, Sam Howell was, doing everything he could, but it just wasn't enough. 37-51, 388 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He got sacked 5 times. So Chicago was getting after him. And that was a huge story, too. It's just that Chicago's defense looked ready in this game.
They looked good on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to factor in a little bit of desperation coming into this game.
Big time.
You need a win. You got a coach that's on the hot seat. You got a quarterback that's on the hot seat.
He's playing for it looked like he was playing for his job.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing for his next team.
Yeah.
Putting out there what he could do. But they got up early in the first half. They looked good.
Right.
Like, I was surprised in this game. The Commanders are supposed to have a good defense, and they just dropped the ball.
Multiple times, yeah.
Yeah. But, the Bears also, there was a lot of weird calls in this game. The Bears didn't get an obvious pass interference call.
Yeah.
The refs called DJ Moore out, even though he didn't ever step out of bounds. He's run along the sideline. And it was so bad that they didn't even show a replay of it. They just called it. So, I mean, it's tough to beat the Commanders when the refs always make the game go their way.
I remember you talking to me.
I wanted to sneak that in for all this ref talk.
And I don't even get down to a lot of ref talk. I just said, and I'll say it on the episode, I think that elite quarterbacks usually get more calls than suckier quarterbacks. I mean, all in all, quarterbacks get more calls because they're trying to protect the quarterback. I just think that your top quarterbacks that, make the league interesting in the first place, like take it back to even Tom Brady, error. They just get the favorable whistle. And I'm not going to say whether that's right or wrong. It's something that I've observed that I think to be true. I don't think the league's fixed. I don't think any of that nature. So let me just throw that out there right here, right now. But I think certain players are going to get favorable whistles because they're trying to protect them, and they go overboard.
I disagree. But I did see something that was very interesting.
Go ahead.
Kurt Benkert, longtime quarterback for the Packers.
All right.
He's got a podcast that he does, or he does like a lot of live streams. So he was on TikTok today, and he said that each team gets like a scouting report on refs, on what they call, who calls what more often, and rankings on the penalties that they call. So he said if you have a reffing crew that calls DPI often, to give that 50-50 ball a chance, because there's a good chance you're going to get the pass interference. So I brought that up to say, you talk about like elite quarterbacks are probably on a good team with good coaches.
Yeah.
So if you're a good coaching staff,
you're going to throw that deep ball.
You scheme to the refs. Mm-hmm. Incredible. I didn't know this.
Hey, I mean, play to your advantages, right? I mean, there was a couple pass interferences. I think it was on the Rams, and we'll get to that game later. But they even said it like they underthrew that ball on purpose to try and get a pass interference, and it worked.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you have to.
I can't believe I never heard of that until today.
I mean,
in the three people he was talking to, I had a ton of questions about it. So that was just interesting. So just good time to bring that up with bad refereeing in this game.
Yeah. So Thursday night's game caps off in a win for the Bears. They still have the number 1 overall pick for 2023 because the Panthers are doing that bad. They haven't won a game yet. I think they will, but we talked about this earlier. Are they going to hold on to the first overall pick, or are they going to trade it because Caleb Williams refuses to go to them? So what is the GMs of the world right now for certain teams that Caleb Williams is interested in, willing to give up for that first overall draft pick? Because they'll still keep the second, and they'll get the next best quarterback in the league.
See, that's an interesting thing, and if this continues the way it's going, there's going to be some draft drama.
Big time.
So Caleb Williams doesn't want to play for the Bears. Well, the Bears can trade off this first round.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're going to get for it? Last year they got DJ Moore and the Panthers first and a bunch of other picks. So who's got that to give up?
Yeah.
And then if they keep the second pick, they still end up with a quarterback. Interesting, because I don't think Justin Fields is staying. It's one good game, and there's a lot of just
the Cowboys were on his list, and after that Dak game, I mean, maybe Jerry Jones is willing to trade the barn.
It does seem like Dak is going to be on his way out. Yeah. I would say so. So the Commanders, though, real quick, just to cap this one, Ron Rivera has to be on his way out, right?
And Eric Bieniemy maybe gets promoted.
Ooh, I hadn't even factored that in.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude is on pace to be a head coach. If that's the trajectory
he should have been
a
head coach start of this year. I thought he was going to.
Well,
but I think he's on pace, and he would rightfully earn that position. But I could see that happening mid-season.
Ron Rivera is so uninvolved. Even the halftime interview was like, I just let the guys talk. They're going to play for each other. He's known as Riverboat Ron, and then what does he do in this game? He kicks a field goal when he needs a touchdown. They were down, I had a note. They were down 14-27 and kicked a field goal. They were 4th and 2 to get a first down while they were in the red zone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just awful. I mean, this defense didn't show up. I said the Commanders are a fun team, but, this is going to come to an end. And this game definitely did it. It was a very surprising Thursday Night Football. I think everybody expected the Commanders just to beat the shit out of the Bears, and the Bears continued to lose, including myself. So I apologize to the Bears.
We can't get every take right, just most of them.
I know.
It's okay.
I just can't believe they made me eat my words the next day.
Sometimes that happens, though. When we get into our next episode of Power Rankings, I'm going to have to eat my words on a couple of my take. I mean, it is what it is.
It's a fun part about it.
Yeah, you can't always be right. But, hey, you know what makes us better than the most is at least we admit that we were wrong about our previous takes.
And I wasn't doing it just to be the hot take. I take the L. They made me eat my words. And a lot of people wanted to remind me about that during that game.
Like Coach Malone on the Nuggets would say, hey, take that L on the way out.
I was not eating a dub on that
words.
take.
But we should probably get into Sunday morning's game out in London.
It was another game in London town.
Across the pond. I want to point out these stats real quick since it applies. But this is the past 16 games from last year and this year, okay? So going neck and neck, both quarterbacks 11-5. Lawrence 67.5 completion percentage, Allen 64.8. Lawrence 252.3 pass yards per game, Allen 256.8. Lawrence 25-9 touchdown interception ratio, Allen 30-16. Lawrence 95.7 passer rating, Allen 92.6. Postseason last year, Lawrence lost to the Chiefs in the second round, 27-20. So it was interesting to say the least. And Allen lost in the second round as well to the Bengals, 27-10, and they didn't even make the Super Bowl.
I was surprised when you were going over those stats.
Right. So it bleeds in. Is this coincidence that Jacksonville won 25-20, and Trevor Lawrence starting to play a little bit more complimentary. 25-37, 315 yards, 1 touchdown. Was sacked 5 times and still was able to, for a loss of 37 yards, but still was able to keep his head on straight, and take care of the ball.
Well, yeah, this was good Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, this was good Trevor Lawrence. So like, you can get sacked, but you're not going to drop the ball. You're not going to force a dumb pass down the field for an interception. But really, this was also the Travis Etienne show, because he had 2 touchdowns, 136 yards, 26 carries, and he had that 35-yard rush at the end.
Did you see what he posted on Twitter after the game?
What did he post?
He said, "I played against myself in fantasy this week."
I did not like that touchdown, though. I thought he needed to slide down and drain the clock at that point, because they gave a lot of extra life to Buffalo, which wasn't needed. But nonetheless, I mean, they played complimentary. Calvin Ridley was huge, especially in Zay Jones' absence. Zay Jones had a touchdown, but, he went out early. Calvin Ridley, 7 receptions, 122 yards. He stepped up big time. The defense came to play. And they held Buffalo, who just previously put up a clinic the week prior on the Dolphins, held them to 20 points. On Buffalo's side, you got Josh Allen, 27-40, 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So not a bad game, right? Not a great game. Somewhere in the middle, and he also had a rushing touchdown. So he was doing everything he could on his side. It appeared. Stephon Diggs had 8 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown.
And 1 tablet thrown. Yeah, he was throwing a fit on the sideline.
Okay. Well, he wanted to win, and it didn't work out that way for him. My biggest takeaways in this game is these teams have similar outcomes for the last couple of years, and it's interesting to see what they're doing this year. Like, a lot of praise goes to Buffalo early on. They have a great game followed by a dud. Great game followed by a dud. And believe it or not, they're only a half a game ahead of the New York Jets right now. 2-3 to 3-2.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying that the Jets are gonna, we picked them early on to be a wild card. Jets probably will not be a wild card.
But
interesting.
The Bills now have 2 losses.
Yeah.
That everybody thought should be a win, including us. We said the same thing coming into this, that the Bills just came in and had a statement win against the Dolphins. The Dolphins dropped 70 on the Broncos, so you're like, holy shit, who's going to stop them? The Dolphins also have the most yards of any team in history through 5 games.
Right.
So obviously that offense is on fire, and the Bills stopped them.
Absolutely.
Then they go to London and drop this game. I woke up at the same time the Bills did to actually play in this game, which was mid-second quarter, because that was their first touchdown.
Dude, that was bars. Fucking bars.
Allen finally connects with Diggs for a touchdown, but there was nothing going on in the first quarter, first
I'll tell you
half
what
of
is
the second quarter.
I'll tell you what is going on. The injuries of the Bills.
They're dropping like flies on defense.
Absolutely. I mean, Rousseau, I think that's how you say his name. He was already out. Milano, who's back up, also got injured. Von Miller, got injured, went back in. I know he didn't finish. He's still trying to ramp up. I don't think he will be significant this year in aiding the Bills in any way. He might have a game or two.
I don't know if this was rust or he was feeling it from, because what was he coming off of? An Achilles?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah, he was in and then he was out. Then he was in, then he was out. So I don't know what to think of Von Miller.
Right, and everyone wants to bring up jet lag now. And I said, I think
so do I.
And I said a couple days before the game, or maybe a day before the game, I said, hey, the Vegas line keeps moving up and up and up in the Jags' direction. And they had been there for a week and 6 days at this point, a week and 5 days, getting acclimated. And Buffalo, after they, whooped up on the Dolphins, decided to wait until Friday afternoon to head out into London.
And I don't get that. Like a day or two earlier.
You deserve to lose that fucking game.
Yeah,
you deserve to lose that game.
Stupid as hell to fly out with that short of a time frame before. If I recall the Packers last year, I meant to look it up and I didn't do it. Great podcasting. That they were there almost like a week beforehand because they were doing all sorts of stuff. I can tell you from experience, about to drop a brag here, I went to London this summer.
You did.
And I couldn't sleep for like 3 days. So this is the problem I have with these games and especially if we talk about international play, which clearly this is why we do these games. Partially, I was looking this up too, is like, why is it always the Jags? And they signed a deal to do it and they think of it as home field advantage, even when they have away games.
Really?
Yeah. And the time change is so different. I mean, for us in Denver, it's 7 hours different. Now, we're talking about a Buffalo team, so that's like five.
Right.
But I can't imagine that you get there on a Friday and you're ready to play football on Sunday.
And you're acclimated. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, even going to New York a few months back, well, this is actually back in January, it took me, a little while to get acclimated. I was only there for like 3 days, but it threw me off.
So, and this is the thing I hate about games and trying to decipher what happened is to say, I want to say, yes, Jags, holy shit, you're better than what I was saying. Because I've been saying that I don't believe in them.
They're 3-2 now, yeah.
But now you have this other thing of like, yeah, but what if the Bills had gotten there 2 days before? Was this a jet lag game? I mean, the Jags have been there for a week already or more.
Right. They've been there for like a week and 5 days.
So they're ready. Yeah. So it's like, and this is what I hate when I think about the international stuff is that this is going to be a factor if they ever do a London team.
Ever do a London team, yeah. Like how would that change, the schedule? Would they play 9 games straight over in London and then like 8 games in the States or vice versa, like in this flip-flop, or would they go back and forth every week or every 2 weeks? Because that's going to be really tough on the team going out there. It's going to be really tough on the team playing there. Even more so for the team playing there, I would imagine, actually. So it's like, how are they going to implement that? They've been trying for a long time, or is that all just smoke and mirrors? They're just trying to expand the fan base out in
I don't know.
London.
But I'm kind of, and I hate the 7:30 in the morning. I'm not a huge fan. I'd be more inclined to have like Canadian teams in like a Mexico team because do those Mexican. Those Mexican games. They play those games in Mexico at Estadio Azteca.
Those games are hype.
They're cool as shit. Okay, imagine this real quick. My friend brought this up
at the Coliseum.
And it wasn't me. But he said, what if it was Niners, Cowboys, like we had Sunday Night Football, at Estadio Azteca?
Estadio Azteca. They just need to move Latin following. They just need to move the Raiders out there. They belong out there.
There you go.
I mean, they belong out there.
Well, they're not going to move again, but.
Yeah. I mean.
What? Okay. Here's the thing about the Jaguars, too. Just real quick.
Yeah.
About that. Is there's all this talk about them moving somewhere because they can't get the funding for the stadium.
Kind of like an Oakland thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What if you move them to one of these?
I learned something interesting enough, too. I guess the chairholders and other people that were tied to the Oakland Raiders years ago were trying to get Al Davis to move because there just wasn't enough funding, and he was like hell-bent on keeping him in Oakland. He just loved the fan base and the people. So it was not by any means the most profitable situation. As we know, Golden State Warriors and Oakland A's and every team that's ever been in Oakland is now on their way out because that city just can't get the funding to hold up the team, which is unfortunate. But crazy, yeah. If a team can't, especially a successful one, like the Warriors couldn't fucking stay in Oakland, and they're like one of the most successful, franchises.
Where would the Jags go?
Right.
So I was thinking about this last night, and the only thing I thought of is this is a tendency in sports is to go, who had a franchise that doesn't anymore that could support it if they're not going to? So could they move to St. Louis? Now that the Rams are gone, they had a fan base. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the Jags.
Keep them in. Yeah, you'd have to keep them in South.
They fit Jacksonville so well. I don't want to see them move from there.
Me neither. I mean, it's good for the state.
So Bills.
Yeah.
What do we do with the Bills?
I mean, because they were high up on everyone's power ranking list, including ours. I think we agreed on. I think they were second overall. Maybe.
After that Dolphins win, it was like
and now the Dolphins also handled business this week. Bounced back, had a steamroll.
Yeah,
and so what do you make of that? Was that like a one-off? This has been the biggest question: is what does the consistency look like? What version of the Buffalo Bills are you going to get? And the same could be said about the Jacksonville, Jaguars.
So I thought about this too with the Jaguars. As it go back to the Jaguars, they kind of felt like this season. They feel like the Titans to me. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. You just don't know what team's going to come out. So do the Bills fit into that mold? Because they're really good. And then they have the game like this.
They're really good until the playoffs. And I said this before the season. I said, what does Josh Allen do in the playoffs other than fizzle out and become non-existent?
Yeah.
Turnover machine. I mean, I read you that stat right before we got started. And in the playoffs, he's just non-existent. 27-10 loss against the Bengals. And so when it comes time to play a good team, the Bengals last year, who didn't even make the Super Bowl, but they were a good team, you could only put up 10 points against them, and you're the Buffalo Bills. Every year they're projected to be Super Bowl. Oh, here comes the Bills. They're going to go to the Super Bowl for sure. It's their year. And every year they get bailed out by excuses. Media doesn't put enough attention on them, and they fizzle out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if the media has anything to do with that.
Other than, I'm saying the media pumps them up every year, including this year, and we all bought into it early on. Like, oh my gosh, the Bills.
I think I'm still holding on them, and part of that is because the AFC is just a dumpster fire.
It is. I would say my stock is held as well. That. Sure.
I just don't know.
But come the playoffs, what's going to happen to them?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Do you trust them in the playoffs at this point?
Yes.
You do? Mm-hmm. I think they're a first to second round exit at best.
Because I hate that I'm saying it,
let's hear it.
I do think the stupid travel schedule worked against them in this game.
Could.
Because
absolutely
it's hard to deny what you saw what they did to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins being what they are. So that's why I say I'm holding and I still believe. I don't want to just go, 1 week they dropped one. Now, if they have a dumb loss again, I'm starting to get on the Cowboys radar. Not that bad, but
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you need to be consistent, and that's something that we're missing from a lot of teams, except for one,
except for two.
Yeah, I guess, and that leads us to the next one.
That leads us to the next one, which I owe an apology to the Eagles.
I agree.
I owe an apology to the Eagles. Look, 23-14 against a good Rams team. They're good. Look, I mean, the record might not say that they're that good, but the Rams are good. And they also got Cooper Kupp back, who missed no time whatsoever.
Zero rust.
I mean, zero rust to knock off. But anyways, Philadelphia has been playing a B- game at best, and they're 4-0. A lot of teams would kill to only bring B- to C+ game and be 4-0 at this point. But they haven't even been playing their best game, and they've been winning. right? And now they're starting to come into form from what it looks like, and now they're 5-0, putting up a win 23-14. Jalen Hurts, 25 of 38, 303 yards, 303. One touchdown, one interception, and then he also had the rushing touchdown, which he started to look more like the rushing of last year. He had 15 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. He actually ran more dominantly of what it looked like last year.
And he had some designed runs. And I don't know that we've really seen that this season. So I was happy to see that, and it looked good. It wasn't like, holy shit, but it was still good.
Yeah, I mean, and A.J. Brown had himself a game. Dallas Goedert, he had himself a game. Everyone was clicking really, and their defense came to play. They were able to really, really limit what Matthew Stafford and company was able to do, because I believe we both picked the Rams to upset.
I really thought they were going to do it.
And I thought they were going to do it too, but they said, not today. We're 5-0.
Nah, fam, we ain't about that life. We're going to plow our way into some first downs.
Dude, no one could stop the brotherly shove.
I hate that name.
The brotherly shove.
I hate it so much.
I know. It's kind of like that dilly that they had going on for a while.
The dilly. I'm so glad dilly's gone.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love that play.
Dilly.
And they are the best at it. There are so many other teams trying it.
No one could stop it. Yeah.
And then you get the Giants, who are so bad at it, they got people injured trying to do it.
Do more legs. Do more squats.
Hit them squats. Be careful, though. You could get a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
On the Rams side, nothing caught my eyes too much. Matthew Stafford, 21 of 37, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He got sacked 4 times. They were coming after him. Which is really the difference maker in this game, because, he didn't turn over the ball, but there was just nothing extra there for him to work with, it felt like,
For the Rams?
For the Rams, yeah.
They have no running game.
Yeah, I mean, and you've got Cooper Kupp, you got Puka Nacua, you got Tutu Atwell, and they all do fine, right? But after that, like, who's their running back? I mean, Kyron Williams, Ronnie Rivers. Like, it's no one that pops out at you. They definitely need a.
I would like to see them make a move for it, because if they're going to play one dimensional, they're going to have a hard time stringing wins together. And this team is actually a good team.
Yeah,
they were the only ones who've given the Niners any kind of competition. And I think they can string some wins along. They do have a winnable schedule. I looked it up, and I'm like, here's your opportunity to do it.
You're 2-3, but you could turn it around.
It wouldn't take that much.
Yeah,
but you need a running game.
You do, because they are one dimensional. You're absolutely right. I mean, if you can stop the run game, then what are they going to do to you?
You don't even got to threaten to. I mean, you don't have to stack the box. You don't even have to disguise any plays that we think you're going to run. And even if they were, they're not going to get much. So it's not like it's a threat.
Yeah.
And I agree. I owe the Eagles an apology as well. I've been pretty down on them.
Yeah.
But they do look better every single week.
They do.
This was their best week.
I had to say it, but they're coming into form. And I hate that teams have the luxury of doing that. The Chiefs are another team, where they don't have to bring their best game. They can figure it out as they go. All of a sudden, you're we're not mid-season right now, but we're getting there,
If they keep doing this, their mid-season form is going to be
terrifying,
incredible.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say, and this is, I hate to be critical of this, but Jalen Hurts throws another pick.
He does.
He needs to string some games together without picks. And he got an earful from Sirianni when he threw that one and went to the sideline.
He did.
He is one that's good with hard coaching, so that's awesome. I mean, he's an incredible player. And
incredible
even
athlete.
To listen to him talk, he's one of my favorites, becoming one of my favorites. So I'm believing in this team. I'm starting to. They're 5-0. You can't deny that.
Did you see Kelsey give the coach an earful on the side?
Yeah, I was trying to find out what that was about, and I didn't see.
I couldn't figure out what it was about.
It looked like something about play calling or something.
He was pissed.
It was like
he was pissed.
He was like time after time after time, something like that. So I don't know exactly what that was, but I'm buying in. My stock's going to be up, way up, especially with the Bills dropping.
Catch Thursday's episode because stock is going to be up.
And then the second team in this next game, who's going to drop like a rock.
Yeah. Okay, so Sunday night's game, right? We were expecting fireworks, and there was fireworks.
Game of the week.
Game of the week, there was fireworks for sure, but only for one team, and that is the 40 fucking Niners, man. Future Hall of Famer fucking Brock Purdy.
Living up to that name.
Living up to that name, because he hadn't really had a game like this. He was playing, decent football, taking care of the ball, but not having like a lights out game. And boy, did he have a lights out game, man, because he had 17 to 24, 252 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, passer rating 144.4, just fucking insane. So he put on a clinic, and he put on such a clinic that backup Sam Darnold came into play in the last quarter. They're like, oh, man, we're good. You got this.
So they pulled all sorts of starters at that point.
They pulled all sorts of starters. And so, on the rushing side, get this, Christian McCaffrey has had 14 games in a row with a touchdown. And if he, by the way, that ties him at Smith. If he has another touchdown next week, he becomes the all-time. Isn't that just crazy?
What he's doing is
phenomenal.
Awesome.
Right? It is so fucking
And what was
cool.
everybody saying about him coming into the Niners? Oh, he's injury prone. He's injury prone. Dude, they're running him. They're not afraid to run him.
And he catches. He's a dual threat running back.
Sure is.
Because he can catch that ball like, dude, you can't
The
stop
only
him.
thing that's going to stop him from getting MVP this season is Brock Purdy.
Right. And
Like,
dude,
and they're on the same team.
Yeah, that would be funny. Now get this. George Kittle had not had a touchdown coming into this game. He had 3 receptions, 67 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He said, guess what? I'll make up for that right now. Let's do this.
3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns, dude. Because everyone forgets about George Kittle, I feel like, every year.
Well,
like, he's a great fucking tight end.
He's a contact tight end. He's a dude who loves wrestling, and he has a blast hitting dudes and blocking dudes. And he's like, I'll catch touchdowns if you want me to, but I want to lay people out.
Yeah.
But then he goes and catches 3. God, I mean, their receiving core, including Christian McCaffrey, is a pass-catching running back.
They got Deebo Samuels, man. They
Who's
got
better?
Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason. They got George Kittle. They got Brandon Ayuk. That's been huge.
How many times when we're watching games together do I say Brock Purdy goes deep to Brandon Ayuk? Heard that one before?
Yeah. I mean,
say it every week.
It's all the time. And this defense coming in for the 49ers, they were already listed as one of the top defenses. And this game, they had 3 interceptions gifted from Dak, from those Dak picks, right?
Unsolicited Dak picks. We had a game
Dak
full
picks.
of them.
And they also got 3 sacks. So, I mean, their defense showed that they were superior, and they were for real.
Dude, there is nobody on the same level as the Niners right now. Not even
Whether
close.
AFC or NFC, we said this in the beginning of the season. This is the 49ers Super Bowl to lose. You heard it here first. No one's stopping them unless an injury happens, barring any major setbacks. But it's their Super Bowl to lose.
It really feels like if they keep doing this, this is going to be a historic team. And I mean,
They've had it coming.
all-time NFL historic team.
Have they not had it coming?
I am so fucking excited that I get to go to Minnesota and watch them.
Oh, yeah.
Like
when is that again?
sometime this month. It's Monday Night Football. So
Okay.
I'll be on TV. I'm just kidding. I won't be. No,
Make sure your shirt's off.
Yeah. Put some paint. Actual Packers fan. But I was excited just to go to a game. But after watching this and seeing how bad my Packers are, I'm like, I'm gonna go watch at least one game of this historic run that the Niners are about to go on.
It's phenomenal, and they've done this for the last few years where they've been that close. And last year, granted, they lost to the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken, in the playoffs.
Because they were down quarterbacks.
Yeah, Brock Purdy was injured, was trying to play, couldn't. It's been their Super Bowl to win for the last few years, at least in my opinion. They've been that close, and it's always been an injury holding them back. I pray this year that, that doesn't happen because it's been theirs for a while. They need to cash in on it. Let's get over to...
Well, I just want to say this real quick.
Go ahead, yeah.
The only bad thing that sucks, if you're a Niners fan, is when is this first loss going to hit?
Sure.
I mean, the odds of having an undefeated season are just so out there.
And it's almost like a... you don't want to have an undefeated season because the expectations into the playoffs, I feel like it creates a unnecessary type
Oh,
of...
it can. We love to talk about it and be like, could this be the team?
When was the last team to even do that?
It was the Dolphins in like the 70s.
That actually took it all the way because the Giants were that close.
Yeah.
Then they lost against the Patriots.
I think the Patriots did it too.
Just sounds right.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that sucks. Is
Right.
so the person I'm going with to this game has said that a bunch of times. He goes, I hope this is not the week they get the loss when I finally get to see this team because I've never seen a winning Niners game. So
Yeah.
that's other than that, what can you say that hasn't been said? And
Right.
and we just did. So yeah, we should move on to the Cowboys.
Yeah, let's get on to the
Who
Cowboys.
stink?
They them boys. Right?
Yeah, boys, exactly.
Yeah, boys.
There's no
They're
men
playing-
on that field.
Yeah, there's... Man, Dak Prescott struggled and, got benched at the end for Cooper Rush, who probably should have played the entire game, let's be honest. He was 14 to 24, 153, one touchdown, three. I said three. Tree. He had 3 interceptions.
Solicited Dak picks.
Unsolicited Dak picks, my guy. They had nothing going for them on the offensive side. It was just painful. It was really painful. And defensively, they were supposed to be the team. But we said, who have they played against as far as these defensive, performances in the past? What?
This was supposed to be the game because this was the first time two good teams have faced each other all season. Because we've got so many bad ones.
The defensive performances that the Cowboys have been, putting up a show against, it's been against teams that are under 500. So this was their first test. Like, okay, here's an actually good team. If you can play that kind of defense, we'll all buy in.
So I think we got duped. I was talking to you earlier, and I put out my thought.
Okay.
I think we all got duped into thinking they're good.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, you have the week one where they smash the Giants, hold them to 0. Giants lay a goose egg. Now, did we know the Giants were that bad in week one? No. We found that out later. They are terrible. They might be one of the worst teams. Week 2, they beat the Jets. At that point, though, the Jets seem to have a little bit of internal animosity going on because they lost Aaron Rodgers. They weren't really playing that well. So was that really their best defense? They're supposed to have a good defense, but just like we saw with the Commanders, teams have an off week.
They do. And what are you going to do when your defense has an off week? By the way, Mike Parsons never even sniffed Brock Purdy.
God, what he's saying too. I was going to put some of that in.
Yeah.
Okay. So they get those wins, and we're like, holy shit, the Cowboys are rolling.
Right.
You have people on podcasts saying they're going to the Super Bowl. They represent the NFC. Holy shit, they're the team.
Sure.
They go play the Cardinals and look like shit. The Cardinals, as we know now, are a tough team.
They're a tough team. They're scrappy.
You will get the win, but you have to earn it.
You're going to have some battle wounds.
Yeah, you can't just check it off.
Without a doubt.
And they looked like shit. And we were all like, whoa, what was this? And then we all got right back on board when they played the Patriots and gave Bill Belichick his worst loss. But the Patriots are historically bad. They come out and lay a goose egg against the Saints this week. So they're very bad.
Yeah, very bad.
So I think we just got fooled into this thinking, holy shit, they're really good because they're getting all these defensive points.
We got honeypotted.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am out of the Cowboys business. Out.
My stock is going to be way down.
Super down.
Super down.
We went over their schedule earlier as we were doing prep.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was looking through it. I'm like, I don't even see that many wins on this.
They'd be lucky to get 10 at this point. With the way they're playing, they'd be lucky to get 10. I think they'll make right next week. But other than that, against the Chargers, they might lose that game though too. I mean, but other than that, there's not a whole lot of winnable games on their schedule with how they're playing and with how these other teams are playing.
Do you want to make a doom bet?
Yeah.
Do you think they get 10 wins?
Oh, dude. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Because I'm taking the under.
I'll take 10 wins.
I will go under.
I'll take 10 wins. Doom bet.
Doom
What's
bet.
it going to be, guys? You
I'm
gotta
already
put it,
out one.
You got...
That Bears take.
Ooh, yeah. So you guys have to put in a doom bet for Aaron because he's out on that bet. But you heard it here. I'm going with the Cowboys getting 10 wins. They'll still find a way to be okay in the normal season. They'll lay an egg in the postseason. But figure out what you want the bet to be for the winner and loser. and send us your ideas. Go ahead and DM us.
Nothing that's going to make any of us puke. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, nothing that's going to make us puke.
I will get tattoos. I will shave into a mustache.
I will not get tattoos.
What?
I will not. Dude, I already got enough tattoos.
You just sneak another one in.
No, fam. I'm in the business of getting some removed right now, so you can't.
So you want to go the opposite way?
Yeah. But yeah, that wraps up Sunday night's game. It didn't turn out how we anticipated. I thought it was going to be a semi-close game, and this was going to be a big statement for either team. And now this just solidifies that no one is remotely close to the 49ers, and I end it there.
Let's move on.
To
underlying stories.
Yeah.
Got it in, baby. So what do we got left?
Okay, so I'm going to start just shooting off a couple of things that I wrote down while we were, watching games this weekend. Steelers move up to 3-2 with the win over the division rivals Ravens. What do you make of that?
I had a thought of what I think the Steelers are.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers are the spoiler team of this year. The one team who's going to get a win that just offsets the playoff picture.
Just wrecks a playoff team.
Because in this game in particular, they weren't in it until the end.
Right.
And then had some miracle plays because Kenny Pickett's not good. Even the fans were saying it. They did the sideline cam, and there was a fan going, Pickett sucks.
I mean, he's not that good.
He's not that good. But TJ Watt is incredible.
But their defense, real deal.
Yes.
Real deal.
So they're going to sneak out wins that will impact what the playoff picture looks like. So even though the Steelers aren't in the playoffs, their thumbprint's going to be all over it.
And they could be a sneaky team that makes maybe a 7 seed. Best case scenario. I don't think that would happen.
Do you remember the Ben Roethlisberger year?
Yeah. He's like, we don't even deserve the fucking beer. I don't even know why. It
was the participation trophy entry into the playoffs.
Yeah.
They were guaranteed to lose. Like, they shouldn't have been there.
And he even mentioned it.
Yeah. Like, if they make the playoffs this year, that's what it would be. I don't want another Steelers participation trophy.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of what they are.
Okay.
Because I don't think anybody had Steelers winning this game.
Yeah, no. I know how we picked these games earlier in the week, and we both went with the Ravens. Okay, next up, Saints shut out the Patriots and move up to 3-2. And I changed my pick right before Sunday. Thursday before we did our last episode. And I said I'm going to change it to the Saints. I think that they're going to, handle business against the Patriots, and they shut out the Patriots. Bill does not look good.
No, we both picked Patriots in this one.
We originally picked both big Patriots, but I moved to the Saints.
Oh, okay. I think I stuck with the Patriots in this one because I really expected a bounce back. And honestly, the Saints aren't that good. They have struggled on offense like crazy.
Not this game though, man. It was something.
I'm not buying in on the Saints.
Sure.
And partially because the Patriots are historically bad.
But are the Saints going to win that division? I mean, the only team they're going to battle with, to a degree, is going to be the Buccaneers. And how good are the Buccaneers?
Well, Baker Mayfield's slinging it.
He is,
and I like what I see.
Sure,
I'm a believer in the Buccaneers, at least taking the division with what that looks like. But actually, there's even that spoiler of the Falcons because that defense is so fucking good,
scrappy,
and Desmond Ridder had a good game. So there's going to be competition. I still believe in the Bucs. They had the bye week.
Yeah.
So, we don't know what they look like this week in comparison to a Saints team that just shit kicked the Patriots. But the Patriots are bad.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of there with that. Is like I'm still taking the Buccaneers. The Saints could be scrappy, but don't forget about the Falcons.
Yeah. Next up, Broncos drop to Nathaniel Hackett's Jets.
With an all-time best moment.
Clapback, yeah.
Clapback.
Tell him about
with
it.
All the shit that Sean Payton talked.
Oh, he talked a lot of shit, too.
Jets go in, get the win.
Yep.
And they meet at the sideline, and Robert Salah, with a smile on his face, shakes Sean Payton's hand and just tells him to stay humble. That was so fucking cool.
Yeah, I agree. Way to really just like solidify the moment.
Dude, I'm so happy that the Jets did it.
Yeah.
I truly am. I mean, there was a lot of shit being talked, like I just said, and Jets vibes are up and down. They almost beat the Chiefs last week, so I think they were feeling good about themselves. They didn't play particularly well, and the Broncos aren't good.
Right.
But what a great story for your former head coach to come in and beat your ass, and then the head coach to give you a good clap back.
Yeah, I mean, they had a pre-game talk. Their tight end was just hyping everyone up, saying, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Long story short, So it was cool.
I got an idea to fix or to help the fan base of the Broncos, though, after this game. Because I will say, I know there's a lot of criticism about these jerseys. I loved them. I think they should be the permanent jersey. I love the highlighter orange, always will. Love the white capped helmets. But here's what they need to do. And the Patriots could do this too. Now is the time to switch back to the Denver D logo with the Bronco on it.
That D.
Ditch that old one because it's a Hall of Fame logo. It's one of the best. But your fans are turning on you as they realize that you need a rebuild. Go back to the D logo. Get the nostalgia bomb. Get people to love you because they're going to buy all the merch that you need. And you're going to have to pay when you cut Russell Wilson eventually. You need that money. But that would be awesome. And I do vote. I know this is not a popular one. The Patriots do it and bring back Pat the Patriot.
Yeah. Next up, I just want to bring this up in two parts, which is the Lions and the Dolphins continue to roll.
Sure do.
Lions continue to roll, and they're going to be one of those teams that we made fun of going into the season. We're like, come on, really?
It's the Lions.
It's the Lions. Like, what is the fucking hype? I'll tell you what, the hype's real, and for good reason. I mean, they're backing it up. They're consistently good. They beat the Chiefs. They beat, the Packers back when they were still like, a tough team.
No, the Packers stink. I just wasn't. I wasn't ready to admit it.
You go into Lambeau Field at that point.
It's a tough place to play.
Tough place to play, right? And they handle business. So hey, Lions are doing good. Dolphins have a bounce back game and say, hey, hindsight 2020.
I don't want to get ahead of myself because it's only week 5 and we only get so much football in the season.
Yeah.
So I'm really not trying to speed it up, but I do want to see the Lions and what they do in the playoffs. And I know that's blasphemy coming from an NFC North guy, but I have so much respect for the Lions fan base.
Sure.
They're not a team I hate, not like the Bears.
Yeah.
But
the Bears.
I just the way they're playing right now, I want to see what this looks like in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I really do.
Fair. Yeah.
They're rolling. The Dolphins, like I mentioned, they have the most yards of any team in NFL history through 5 games, which Mike McDaniel said, yeah, mission accomplished. That was our goal.
Right.
He's the best for press conferences, but they looked great again. Tyreek Hill, fastest man on earth. There was a play where Tyreek Hill's running and Achane is jogging and keeping up with him for the most part. They have the fastest team ever. Yeah. I know they lost to the Bills, but I still believe in this team.
My stock is still up, especially after this week. I mean, I think the game that they play is in London, by the way.
I believe,
Their second matchup, Bills, Dolphins. I want to say it's in London. Interesting. Well, Bills learn their lesson and still lose. That'd be funny.
Oh, my God. That would be hilarious. They're like, you know what? We're going to go the day before. They make it even worse.
No. They get there like 7 days in advance. They're practicing. They're doing everything.
They fly
and they get their shit kicked in. Just pound it in.
The Bills do the opposite of what they did this time. They from their last game just fly to London straight.
Yeah,
they don't even go home.
or the Dolphins just get there the night before and kick the shit out of them. Despite
that would be funny.
Yeah, that'd be funny. But
there's one more thing I wanted to bring up, and I didn't realize that we were missing this from earlier, which is. Joe Burrow looked so much better this game. The Bengals needed that win. We've been saying for the last couple of weeks, I don't know why you're starting him. I don't know why you're starting him.
Yeah.
He comes out, and he's moving around. He looked more comfortable, if you will. But what does he do? Throws the most beautiful pass to Jamar Chase, because Jamar Chase, like 7-Eleven, is always fucking open.
He's always fucking open.
And they got the win, and they looked better. So are Bengals back?
I would say, here's what I'm going to say now. Right, because their next 3 games is just mark them up as L's, right? Seahawks, they're not going to win that game, I don't think.
I mean, maybe. The Seahawks are scrappy, but they're not, like, well-rounded.
They've been playing better than the Bengals. 49ers, that's an L.
Oh yeah, loss.
Bills, I think that's an L.
But if it's the every other good Bills, bad Bills, good Bills, bad Bills.
But I mean, but you're probably going to pick Bills.
Most likely.
Texans is not going to be an easy game, right? And Ravens, what are you going to get there, right? Steelers, not an easy game.
Oh, I would pick them over the Ravens for sure.
Okay, but it's not going to be an easy game. Who knows what can happen, right? That's a coin flip. Steelers, tough defense, right? Jaguars, there's something there. I'm telling you. I mean, Colts, that's an easy win, kind of. Vikings.
Well, if Anthony Richardson would stop running and getting injured,
right.
He's now gone out in 3 of 5 games.
Right. And then they have to play after the Vikings, which is one of the only chalk it up as wins on their schedule. Then you got to play against the Steelers again. They'll probably split the Steelers, right? Win one, lose one. Then they got to play against the Chiefs and then the Browns. You really think they're going to get into the playoffs with that schedule?
Maybe. Are the Bengals back?
I don't.
I got my radar.
I'd say hold stock
with
at least for another couple of weeks. Hold.
I do want to see what they look like next week. I was very surprised at what Joe Burrow looked like this week because he was through the first 4 weeks like Jesus, the guy can barely move, and all of a sudden he's getting out of the pocket and making passes. So I just want to put that on the radar.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bengals back.
Real quick, you want to talk about the Monday night game?
Not really. The Packers stink. Jordan Love stinks. They have no run game. Aaron Jones cannot get off the injury report, that hamstring.
Yeah.
The defense does nothing but let everybody else walk down the field. They have no run defense.
Right.
The receivers dropped 1 million passes. I wish Christian Watson was better, but he also dropped another deep bomb like he did week 1 against the Minnesota Vikings. Did I miss anything?
I mean, I think you were pretty spot on about your criticisms toward.
I'm so sad with this Packers team.
The Packers, I mean, they gave you hope, right?
Hey, they had 2 minutes left, and they looked like they could. God, I'm so frustrated with this team.
I'm frustrated with the Raiders, man.
The Raiders.
I don't even want to give it a real Raiders right now.
Every week I want to do it.
Because when they stop doing dumb play calling, maybe I'll give them their flowers, but holy shit, right before halftime, you can get the ball back with 1:40, and they're letting the play clock wind down. They have all 3 timeouts, and they're just letting the play clock wind down an entire 45 seconds. And when they're completing deep passes, you saw this when we were watching the game, I'm like, oh, it can go up 17. It can go up 17-3 before half, or 17-10, whatever it was at the moment. I'm like, you could definitely put an emphasis in this point in time.
Even on the Manning cast, like, why are you not calling a timeout here?
Call a timeout. Yeah. I was watching Mitchell Renz at this point, and he was saying, call a timeout, call a timeout. For fuck's sake, call a timeout. Holy shit, does this guy not understand how to coach? And I will say time and time again, I think McDaniels needs to go. He is not a head coach.
Do you think he gets fired midseason?
I would love if he got fired midseason. I would love that, but I don't think it's going to happen. It could happen. I'm leaning toward the offseason. They'll probably just play it out. Who knows? But Jimmy Garoppolo at the same time as well, he frustrates the living shit out of me. I mean, he has got so many interceptions this season, and it's not even close.
How many in this game? 2?
No, he only threw 1.
I thought he had 2.
No, he only threw 1. But it was just it was painful. And what you're thinking of is Jordan Love threw 2. Actually, he threw 3. Yeah, Jordan Love threw 3.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
2 to Robert Spillane and 1 to Amik Robertson.
And that first one was awful.
Yeah, so what do I take of this? I mean, the Raiders are 2-3. I still don't think they'll win more than 5.
I do want to see this team with a more capable quarterback. I said before the season even started, Jimmy Garoppolo is not the guy. He could be a serviceable backup. That's what he should be, not your starting quarterback.
My other takeaway from this too is that currently before this game, and they'll move up in the defensive rankings, I'm sure, after that defensive performance, but they were, I want to say, 18th overall, and that's without a defensive tackle line. They are the worst in the league at defensive tackle. And time again, they neglect that entire position. and try to trick everyone in or preach to everyone that they've got their guys. And they don't. If they actually had a decent defensive tackle, what would their entire defensive room look like, right? So I don't know. I don't trust the management. I don't trust the coaching.
This was a stinker of a game.
I don't trust the quarterback. Put in AOC for the rest of the year. Put in Aiden O'Connell. Let the boy play.
I don't know what to do with these Packers. I'm so out on them.
Yeah.
Such a bad place to be.
But that was Monday night's game.
It was. It was a stinker. But you know what? Yeah. We're moving on.
Moving on.
That was the show for today.
Yes, sir.
We got another show coming out this week. We are going to do our picks, our NFL stocks of buying or selling, and there's going to be a ton of movement.
Lots of movement.
Those Cowboys are dropping like a rock. Fuck them, they stink. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'll actually move the Jags up. How about that? I don't know. I haven't done them yet, but I will.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with you. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Like and subscribe.
As I get these videos out, I start making TikToks so the Bears can make me eat my words. I apologize. You got your win. Good job. We will see you later this week.
Yes, sir. Take care.
Peace. That was an accident, but you know what?
Fuck it. Keep it.
That was Monday Night Football for you.
Yeah.